Hi guys, it's time to wake up. I know that sandwich is sitting nice in your belly. You're getting sleepy. My channel name is Make Art Now. I do very cinematic videos. A lot of them are brand integrations, but a lot of them are just creative storytelling. So I basically have carte blanche to make videos, do whatever I want, and do it in a way that sells the product, but also is something exciting. And so, long story short, this is just my little presentation. I'm going to screen a bunch of the work that I do, and then we'll talk about a couple of them. So, this is me. This is my channel. I actually turned down about 90% of the brand offers, which is kind of a shocker, but I have like, I try to be as authentic as I can to my audience. And the number one is the product cannot suck. And so if I don't like something, I just don't make a video on it. It takes a lot of time for me to make these videos, and I think it's a disservice if I'm just shilling products for the audience, or for myself, really. So yeah, the product can't suck, and sometimes they do, so I turn them down. But when the product is good, which it's a blessing when they are, I really put everything into it. And so my videos take a while. But I think brands have just kind of learned that. So here's an example of what I'm talking about. This is the Insta360 X4. This came out last year. And this is what I do on the channel.
All right, let's go full speed. The Insta360 X4 has been out for 6 months now. It shoots 8K 30, 5.7K 60, and 4K 100 in a 360-degree sphere, meaning you can reframe any shot angle you want in post with insane stabilization, so you can get all those over-the-top Instagram reels. But I'm not the least bit interested in that. I just created a digital scan of my entire YouTube studio in like 11 minutes. Oh yeah, this is awesome.
All right, so that's just the intro. That's like the flashy. I try to like start with a couple of core things that the product does very well, and then I'll go into full detail later throughout the video. So how do I make my art? Well, I do what I love in each video, and sometimes it's not so obvious in the video. Sometimes it takes a while, and so I really have to just find it sometimes. The other thing is that I leverage a lot of locations. You'll see in a few minutes what I'm talking about, but not shooting everything in my basement is kind of helpful, giving a large scope. And sometimes these episodes, I'll shoot all over the United States for one episode, just because that's where the story lands. You know, I'll go on a cruise with my family, and I brought the product with me just for 1 or 2 shots that I need, and one talking point, and then it goes back in the bag and it's family time. The other thing I like to do is I use story to hide selling of products. And what I mean by that is that if the audience feels like they're being sold to, that's one kind of video. But if you're presenting the video in a way where you're showcasing what the product does, and you're simply just presenting the product to your audience, and then you go over some of these features in a fun way, and they fall into the story. They get sucked in on these little, side adventures. Then that works. You got their attention. What's great about that is that the video retention is typically longer for longer videos. So if you can kind of stretch out that time of how long you have them engaged for, the analytics are in your favor, at least on how much YouTube will push it. And then my last one is, have you guys ever heard of Scott Galloway, the prof? Anyone? No? Scott Galloway does like economics and investment podcasts, and his thing is, what's my unfair advantage? And everyone has an unfair advantage, and mine is that I love to make things and build things. One thing I learned this year is I learned how to CAD design and 3D print products. So now in my videos, whatever the product, whatever the brand deal that I have is, there's always a section where I'm leaning into the unfair advantage. And this is kind of like, it's tapping back into my audience, into what makes the videos good. All right.
What do you think? Do you think it'll stick on the metal vent there?
Oh God.
So this is a magnetic. This is a magnetic action camera.
You gotta want it. You gotta want it. Yeah!
Give me a cup of coffee.
Durability test. So before we put this thing up in the air and see if it can handle the blast of an explosive, we're gonna test it on the ground first, which makes the most sense. In my backyard until they call the cops. I got you a cape. We wanna see exactly how far you go. Little tiny M80. All right. Warning, do not do this unless you're a professional. I am not a professional, but he used to work for NASA. Hit it, Charles. Fire in the hole! Still good. Oh man. Fire in the hole. Fire in the hole.
I mean, believe it
Did
or
you see where
not,
it
this
went
was
down?
a brand deal for this camera company, and they loved it. They
This
said
thing
this is the
shot
most
up
creative
so-
brand deal they've seen.
So high. Camera not connected. All right, we're on the hunt. Hey, little buddy. Totally fine. Wow, it flew some distance. Dude, I'm actually surprised at how durable this is. This took a straight blast right to the face.
I thought it was gonna be cracked.
I thought it was gonna be, I thought this was gonna be totally gone. Totally fine, it's just a little discolored.
Oh my God, it's on fire!
All right, you get the idea. All right, what else do I do? When I'm not doing YouTube, I do shoot for primetime television, and this is another unfair advantage. I get access to all of these high-end homes, massive homes, in the hundreds of millions of dollars, some of these homes. And it's for a show called Secret Lives of the Super Rich on CNBC, and also another show called Cities of Success. So I get to fly all over the world and shoot all this stuff. And interesting enough, because of how much YouTube and social media has taken over, both of those shows are no longer a thing anymore. So I have to change this deck to what I also used to do. But when I was doing that, which was just last year,
$24 million house tour.
here's a
with
little
a run.
example.
Here
This
we
is with
go.
the same camera up on the top.
Foyer.
This is with the
17-foot
Insta360
ceilings.
X4 on the
Coming
very
in
top.
here, this is the great room. Check this out. Breakfast dining here, not the actual dining room. That's this way. In this, 500 bottles of wine. This is the dining room. Beautiful. We're gonna go through here to go
Yeah,
into
so I literally get to
the
run through these homes and film it.
Leave it open
The
for you.
guy running through is my producer, and
College
he's the
chocolate
talent
cream,
on the
marble.
show.
You're gonna hang it right
And so I
here,
basically
hang it
just
right.
shot this whole thing
this is the cinema
with
room.
my
If I
main
hadn't
camera that I
decided to be
use,
here
but
for a little
also
longer,
this
I would
specialty
hit the button,
camera
screens
that
would
came
come
out
back,
last year.
and we could watch a movie.
And then I got to
We're gonna
double
take it
dip
outside
and
now.
use it
It's
for
11,500
the
square
YouTube
feet.
channel. And now the
Not
funny
including
thing
any of
is
this
that
area.
my
Dining,
producer on the
lap-
show, he's obsessed with the small Insta360 camera, and he wants to switch to that instead of the main camera that I've been using. So it's kind of interesting. Insta360 couldn't be more happy about that.
For me, this is the ultimate BTS camera. I will rig this to literally anything I have. I've been rigging the earlier versions, the X1, the X2, and X3, to pretty much all my cameras for the last few years on my professional shoots. Here on an epic shoot, filming a $60 million property today that looks like it was in the movie Scarface. First shot of the day, we're gonna use the X4 actually in the main piece, not just as like a BTS cam. We need an interior shot of the Lamborghini pulling in with the broker
and the host.
Basically, everything that I was rigging with the GoPro Heroes is now being replaced with this. For like interior car shots, what would normally be 3 separate GoPros to rig up, I can now accomplish with one. With it being an 8K, you can now zoom in and reframe the shot twice and also have a wide shot, and it actually works.
Yeah, my producer loves this camera now.
Yo, Josh Yeo. So I'm riding a one-wheel XR Classic through a $55 million house, and I'm gonna show you exactly why.
So this video isn't even out yet. This one is the intro for an upcoming brand deal for one wheel. And again, same show, same setup, but now we're featuring the skateboard that I'm riding on.
So check it out. Filming on the Ronin 4D. We have a 9mm super wide lens here. This is the Laowa 9mm. This is what I normally use. Here I got the DJI Mic 2. These are already on talent. Then I got the Insta360 X4. This is the latest one. And this is my BTS camera and auxiliary camera if we need something else. Got some Sony headphones here, and that's my setup.
So this video again is for the skateboard one wheel that I'm riding around. It takes the step out of all of the footage, so you just fly right through these homes.
Yep. I got you on both angles.
That's an electric Ferrari. It's half scale, I guess, and it's $100,000, by the way.
I want to feel a little
It's the only Ferrari I could afford.
When you get that straightaway, you hit it.
Maybe not. I guess that depends if I get paid for this presentation. All right. But where's the art? That's all the commerce. Where's the art? Okay, so the art is right there. You see it? You see that little arrow? It's called direction lock. That's the art, okay? Direction lock, that's the key. All right, so this is what direction, I'm gonna give you an example of how I sell the product within the art. So direction lock is a feature on the camera, the Insta360 X4, and I'll show you what it does.
So there's one thing that the Insta360 does extremely well that no other camera I know can do. And to demonstrate it, I've got my power drill. So if we spin it slowly, it should stitch it all together. Let's go medium speed. All right, let's go full speed. Whoa! Whoa!
All right, now that we know what it does, let's see what else we can do with it.
So I got a perfect shot for this camera in this house, and I asked Connor to go get a fishing pole.
Fishing pole acquired.
Bro, this is for little kids.
No, it's for Insta360s, little cameras.
Dude.
I think this home is a $170 million home in Bel Air.
Pinch the line.
And the staircase
Okay,
is
make
a
sure nobody
one-piece
comes down
staircase that goes
the stairs,
all the way
okay?
down from
Thank you,
the
Brian.
rooftop
Right there.
to
You ready?
the basement. And so I'm trying to show the audience what we can do with this camera.
Bro, 3,
with its
2, 1.
360 video, but also the slow-mo. It has a 4K 100 frames per second, so it can be slowed down for slow motion.
This time we'll go in slow-mo.
It just dropped into the pool below.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Did it break?
I did not plan that. This is the shot. This is 4K 100 slowed all the way down, and then I added a little bit of sound design.
It's still rolling. Hey! It's good.
Durability test 2.0. All right, so to show you again what that stabilization does, it took out all the bounce out of the fishing line and it stabilized it, but also corrected the spin. So the camera angle never changes unless you want it to change. All right, so now we know what it does. Let's see it in a body of art. So this is the home is called Villa Siena. Again, this is a $172 million listing. It's still I think it's still listed now. It only went up about 6 months ago. And this is the video I cut for it. There's the staircase. Shot is coming up. So far, we have not seen the shot yet. This is all shot on my primary camera, the big one that I showed earlier. And so the edit, we're looking for when is the appropriate time for that shot. Here we go. That was it. All of that just for that. But the interesting thing is you can't tell the difference between the two cameras, which is good. That's what we want. The main camera that I shot 99% of this is a $20,000 camera system, and it's tuned for this type of shot. And that one shot was done on a $400 camera and really pushed to the limit. So it's a great example of hiding it in the edit. All right, I'll just cut it short. It goes on for about another 17 minutes. You haven't even seen half the house, you know. First world problems, I guess. Okay, so let's talk about the real fun stuff. Staying FCC compliant. What does that mean? That means we got to focus on truthful and non-deceptive advertising, accurate data collection, usage, and respecting consumer rights. But if you're a YouTuber, what does it really mean? It means clear disclosure. Did I get paid for this? If I did, then I got to let you know. So how do I do that? How do I wrangle that? About half of my videos are sponsors. Half of them are not. I just do videos on whatever I want to do, and if I can, sometimes I land sponsors before I do the video. I have a video idea. I'll pitch it to the brand that I think is great for it. They greenlight it, and then I go to work. And other times I have a video that's done, and I then pitch it to some brands, and maybe they say yes, maybe they say no, and then I just throw the video up anyway because it's all good.
I built a 360-degree orbiting virtual production.
Hold on, I'm going to go back. So let me preface. So in this one, I'm going to show you how I hide in an authentic way that it's sponsored. And when I mean hide, I mean that you don't get the sense of like, oh, this is a sponsored video. I can't trust what this guy's saying. He was paid by the brand. If my audience feels that about my work, then I have messed up.
I built a 360-degree orbiting virtual production studio from a marble orbit and the biggest Sony Bravia LED TV I could find. There's no way this is going to work. There's no way this is... Oh, it worked.
So Sony challenged me to use their new Bravia television in my filmmaking process. I'm doing exactly that. As a disclaimer, you're definitely not allowed to put this much weight on the orbit, ever. Under any circumstances, definitely do not.
This is orbit. This is what it looks like normally. You mount it to your ceiling and it makes over-the-top, super cinematic circles. And this is what it looks like when you attach an extra-large Sony Bravia LED TV to the other end of it and play back virtual production plates with the same exact rotational speed as the camera. Now, this episode is sponsored by Sony. They were crazy enough to send me this TV for this experiment, despite my numerous disclaimers of the extreme likelihood I would break it.
Okay, kind of hit it in there. Let's see if I revisit that again. I am vlogging right now on a massive television, the 98-inch Sony Bravia TV. I don't even need a key light. It's lighting up my face as much as I would normally use. This is my new setup here. I wouldn't change anything about this.
Yeah, you got a monster there?
What is this, 85?
98.
98!
But who's measuring?
The pitfalls of having a ridiculously large television. Nobody ever talks about this one.
It's 150 pounds, boys. We can muscle it. Mine on landing?
Now, because Sony sponsored this video, I want to be clear, this video is not how great this television is. I don't care if you buy it. This video is doing something that I've been meaning to do with the Orbit for a very long time.
The packaging is really nice.
And there it is. I don't care if you buy it. For some reason, that just unlocks so much freedom to me to say that to my audience. It felt a little risky when I did it, too. When I said that, I was like, I don't know. Is the brand going to give me pushback? Sony did not give me pushback. So it worked. And my audience appreciated it. And I think if you read the comments in a lot of videos when it's like heavy-handed brand deals, you know, we get these embargoes where the brands will send all, 50 or 100 YouTubers the same backpack or the same camera. And then embargo day comes and it's just like, here comes all the videos, one after another. I guess it's great for the brand in terms of awareness, but it's also kind of a weird spot that us creators find ourselves in, because how do you navigate that? Like, you can't just hide it. You can't hide the fact that you got paid to do this brand endorsement. That would be illegal, and also your audience will call you out on it. So it's not a great look. But you have to tell them this is sponsored. And so for me personally, it was, this is sponsored. I'm using this as a tool to create my art. I'm going to tell you about it. I don't care if you buy it. And I don't know, it just unlocks so much freedom. Okay, so let's talk about when the brand deal goes bad. So this was during COVID this was, I think, right before COVID, like right in the heat when COVID just hit in like March 2020. I had this video idea, and I had a brand that was kind of locked, but then COVID hit, and I had finished the video, and they were like, we want nothing to do with this story, because we don't want anything COVID. Like, everyone was being very, they were pulling back a little bit, and they didn't want to be on one camp or the other. And even though the video has nothing to do with COVID really, like in terms of political stuff, it had a message at the very end that was kind of wrapped up with like how to get through this. And so it was on topic, and the brands were like, no. So I went ahead with the video anyway. It's not a good enough reason for me to shelve the video just because it's not paid for. So I didn't have a brand sponsor in it. The brand that was supposed to sponsor it was a brand called Storyblocks, and they do stock footage. So if you need footage for anything, they have a whole library of stock footage, and all the creators in my field, they'll have brand sponsorships with this brand. So this is how I got around it.
Biggest asset. The never-ending search for hope. Upload is complete.
So this is the middle of the story.
uploading
This is the first time I did an episode where it was more of like acting. Like it should look like a
I'd like to open
movie.
up a new project.
Ready when you are.
Project Oscar Tango.
This
India
also
Sierra.
contains my
For an
AI
immediate
assistant
launch.
Otis, which is just the
You're
voice.
almost set. I just need a passcode.
Fine, you were right. You were right. You were right. Call it in.
I'm sorry. Incorrect passcode.
Call it in, or you're uploading stock footage for the next year and a half.
Access denied.
Right now, you have 3 seconds.
Can
2.
you think of anything else?
I hope this works.
Access granted.
Again, this was like a movie. This was like my first time not talking to camera, but being an actor and doing basically a movie with my AI assistant.
Burbank Tower, Oscar Tango India Sierra, 3 miles east of Santa Monica, requesting low altitude flight following downtown Los Angeles, altitude 100 and climbing.
Negative, Oscar Tango India Sierra. We have a TFR from Dodger Stadium. Request denied.
Copy you. Substituting storyball stock footage. Night vision mode engaged. Infrared, 82.
There it is.
Storyballs is the
Catch
best
it?
deal for stock footage with an unlimited download plan and
Story
plenty
balls.
of
I
drone
changed it
footage
from
to
story
choose from.
blocks to
Pilots
story
everywhere
balls.
rejoice when you use story balls. Also, don't fly a drone through downtown LA, ever.
Understood. Activated.
Okay, so that was in the story. I had to use that integration because I had to get downtown LA with the drone, and I had to do it in a way that would not violate drone laws at the time. I didn't want to send the wrong message, so I needed to use stock footage. So I had to use the brand integration in the video for the story, but I couldn't actually endorse the brand. So I changed it to Storyballs, and then what I did is I bought the domain for storyballs.com, and then I created a whole scavenger hunt Easter egg with little Easter eggs inside this 15-minute video for my audience to find. Now, this is the peak of COVID, so people were locked in. They didn't have anything to do, and they'd never seen anything like this before. And it was great. I mean, it took several hours to solve this riddle. And I think I gave away like maybe $500 or $1,000 worth of gear. I had somebody else pitch in, like B&H, with some camera gear to give out. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Now this is the best. So this is the best brand integration I've ever done, and this is a follow-up to that piece, which I highly recommend you guys watch after this on like a regular television, because everything's all done at night, so it's really hard to see, the cinema quality. But the first one you watched was Anamorphia 1. This one is Anamorphia 2. Now, this is mid-story, and this is another continuation. So what happened after Anamorphia 1 is a camera company, DJI, got a hold of me, and they said, we loved what you did with Anamorphia 1. Do you have anything else that's like that? We'd love to sponsor your next one. So for Anamorphia 2, I said, I have something. I think I have an idea where I can work it into the story if you guys are fine with it being half of a brand integration and half of a movie. And they said fine. And so this actually paid for this. Animorphia 2 is about 25 minutes long. We're just going to watch about 2 minutes of it. But it was it took me about 5 months to make. So this was not a money grab thing. This is like a personal passion project. This is in the height of COVID when everyone's locked in, and instead of, Hollywood is shut down at the time, no one's making films, and here I am making a film by myself with an AI assistant that's fake. So people loved it.
Even for you.
You studied that material I gave you?
90 episodes of the show, Knight Rider.
Perfect. That's all you need.
My life.
I was heavily inspired by Knight Rider.
You see, that's what it means to be human, Otis. Do things that terrify you. All connected?
Online. Meshing systems now. Mesh locked.
Oh, that's nice.
Jesus, what year is this vehicle?
Easy, all right?
Might be the wrong clip to play on this rear projection.
Check the leather.
But
It means luxury, all right?
You have a factory airbag recall and several serious mechanical issues that need to be addressed.
I know, it's got some water damage.
The windows don't roll down.
Just don't mess with them. It's totally fine.
How are we filming buildings then? Through the windows?
That's a good point.
Say a word, you're good. Easy, Otis. Take it easy. Okay, Otis, you're going fast enough.
What the crap, the gas is touching. Found the problem. Circuitry is crossed. You have additional hardware on the same circuit. Oh crap. Josh, you might feel a little squeeze. Hang on, Josh. There are some significant electrical issues.
Stop.
I have to reboot the system.
Otis, don't go on the freeway. Do not go on the freeway.
Systems online.
Okay, all of that just for the little gimbal thing I'm holding. But that was more of like the preface. I'll get to the brand integration part in a second and see if you guys can sniff out how I did it. So, in the story, I got my AI Otis. She's driving the car. It's her first time driving the car, so that's why there's this little miscommunication here. And, she's trying to integrate with this old car. And so, let's see what else happens. You're getting awfully good at this driving thing.
You can say that again.
Yeah, you ready for round 2?
Still half a tank of nitrous.
Raven's Eye transmitter. We never did test this out. Boom,
Sure
there
has
it
been
is.
Fixed. So you won't be a super spreader on the freeway again.
Oh, I'm staying inside the car this time. To really get up to speed, we'll need to take out the micro vibrations to give us a mounting point. 400 pounds of lateral force ought to do it.
Rig wheels cloud mount magnetic stick.
So now we connect the base.
You'll need to run power.
Boom,
And
there's
for
the brand
extreme
again.
motion parallax, you want a very wide lens.
Laowa 9mm f5.6, the dream lens.
I shouldn't be encouraging you.
Now, will you come have some fun with me?
If you want gimbal control, we'll need to connect your phone.
First, we're gonna try something more colorful. What? Oh my god, the Force Mobile makes me feel like I'm in a video game. Check this out. The Raven Eye gives us monitor feed, and we get a bunch of monitor tools. We even have importing our own custom color grades. Otis, feel like making me a new color grade?
I'm a little busy now.
You're a self-augmenting AI. You can definitely do this. You're just unwilling.
What's in it for me?
Well, I didn't want to ruin the surprise, but there was a Black Friday sale, and I just so happened to pick up a 64-core GPU.
Oh, shut the f*** up.
All right, so I'll talk numbers, which is something I never do on the channel. I never really disclose how much I'm paid or what happened, but that one integration, the brand paid me, I think, $15,000 for that one, And the production costs, I had to hire DP and whatever. So it was probably a wash, which is fine with me because it was like that piece alone. It's a 22-minute. It's a short film, and so they were over the moon. But then they gave me an affiliate link as well, and because I had also hidden another scavenger hunt in this video, and this video had also done I think 250,000 views. I ended up racking in another 15 to 18 grand just on affiliate sales. That's how many units I sold of this $800 product. So it was by far the best integration ever. And I think people either they hadn't heard of the product or they didn't want to upgrade. When they saw it, they were like, "Oh my God, this is wild." I haven't done an Anamorphia 3. I don't know if that's ever going to happen, so don't ask, okay? That one took 5 months. My wife almost divorced me. She calls it Anna Divorcica, okay? All right, so let's talk more about using story to hide the sale, if it wasn't clear enough in that one. This is a fun one. This is another, same brand, DJI. They did a power station. This is basically a large monster battery bank, so you can charge your laptops, but you can power refrigerators and all that. So I'll give you a quick rundown of what it does.
So DJI released the 13-pound Power Station 1000. It's 1,000 watt-hours, capable of charging an M1 MacBook Max 9 times, an iPhone 57 times, or running a large refrigerator for 2 days. It has a 2,200 watt max output, which is more than enough to weld shit together. You can charge it with this, or this. It comes with a very fancy bag. It's got 2 of these, 2 of those, 2 of those. What the hell are those? But most importantly, it's manufactured by the same company that manufactures your drone batteries. Meaning, when you charge your drone batteries, they can charge faster than if you plug them into a wall. Basically, it's a monster power bank. So why isn't this video a minute and a half long? Well, it's complicated.
Okay, so that's the intro I use. Now, a little bit of preface. This video is one of the worst performing videos on my channel, probably because the product is just not that searchable. So I didn't take it personally, but this is one of my favorite videos that I've done. And even though I think the views are, I think it's yet to break 40,000, which is really low for me. I got more comments on this, more interactions, more impressions, and the brand was super happy about this because of how I wove it into the story.
Damon, where the hell?
A little bit of context.
Now, Damon is a YouTuber as well and has a budding nature channel chocked full of New Mexican wilderness, his love for identifying snakes, and other things that blow his mind.
Both of these materials were revered by the Native Americans around here for making arrowheads because they would chip predictably if they were hit certain ways.
Damon and I have been friends ever since my last cross-country road trip, and because he's a few years older with kids in college, he's slotted into somewhat the mentor role with some great advice on how to be a better father. The type of advice that I can only digest if it comes from a good friend.
Permanent placement inside my basement.
So those walls are an art piece that I built at Burning Man.
So we got 29% battery left. Let's see if it's got
ago.
enough juice to power the time machine. I have been thoroughly impressed with this trip so far.
So, funny story, the last time I had these walls erected was at Burning Man. We had them powered with a Honda gas generator, and all 1,400 LEDs on each wall drew so much power that the damn generator ran out of gas in the middle of the night. Pretty much every night. It was a nightmare. Had I hooked this up as a backup, it would have saved me a huge headache and probably prevent a few people from crashing their bikes into it in the darkness.
Good night, Damon.
Good night, Josh.
Good night, Connor.
Good night, Josh.
All right, that was just the setup. That wasn't actually the plug. Although this whole video is a plug for the power station. But I wanted to introduce Damon, and I wanted you to hear his voice so that it would make sense. So this video, we did a cross-country trip. I basically moved out of my apartment in Los Angeles and moved all of the last of my stuff to my house in Dayton, Ohio. And it took 3 days, and part of it is that I took the time machine walls which were a staple in my last studio, and I was bringing them to my house and trying to figure out what I was going to do with these walls. I hadn't actually solved that problem yet. And so this video took about a month to do because there was a whole construction element to it at the end, which we're about to get in right now.
Hey, Josh, it was great seeing you, man. I know you mentioned you were having some difficulty finding a fitting end or a place for the time machine. I got to thinking that maybe you're struggling because the magic it's always represented is now more embodied by your children. Kids are the best time machines. You'll get to see them mirror your traits and your troubles and your triumphs. There's a real magic there. It reminds me of a poem I used to read my boy when he was Arthur's age. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. If you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. If you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies. Or being hated, don't give way to hating. And yet don't look too good, nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two imposters just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken and stoop and build them up with worn-out tools. If you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings, and never breathe a word about your loss. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on.
We're gonna scan your thumbprint.
If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch.
Backup power.
If neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you, but none too much. If you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run. Yours is the earth and everything that's in it.
Whoa, Arthur! Woo!
And which is more, you'll be a man, my son.
At a secret workshop.
As for the time machine itself, I have no doubt that you'll find the best place for it, especially now that you have more than enough backup power to keep it running.
Computer, turn off workshop.
But I suppose that's another story.
So that was at the very end of the video, and I had basically stitched in the story elements as well as like an overview of this specific nitty-gritty functionality of what the product does. There's probably a blend of how to do it a little bit better, but this was like an experiment version, and if I were to do it again, I might have done it with a less niche product. I think that's part of the problem there. I think a product like that would have done better just as a regular overview, appealing to drone operators that would actually buy this thing and not encompassing the whole story thing. But from a branding perspective, they absolutely loved it. The brand ended up taking 4 or 5 chunks of that video, cutting it up, making reels, having me repost it. So it was a successful integration, and it was a great story. So that's it.